This is Newsbreak 26 in Southwest New Brunswick. I'm Vicki Hogarth. Here's what's happening in our part of the world. Ever since losing her daughter Hillary Hooper to suicide at a psychiatric unit at the St. John Regional Hospital in December of 2020, Patty Borthwick of St. George has been fighting to ensure that other families don't have to go through what she has endured in her fight to get answers. On Thursday in Fredericton, Borthwick was in the public gallery of the legislature to see politicians unanimously pass Bill 30, also known as Hillary's Law, which contains a number of changes to the Coroner's Act. The most significant change is that a coroner's inquest will now be mandatory in the event that someone dies in a psychiatric facility, unless the death is determined to be from natural causes.
It means help for families, so if you're not strong enough to fight, if you lose a loved one to suicide, you're going to get your inquest, you're going to get your answers, you're not going to have to fight and grieve at the same time, so it's a really, really good day for other families. And it helps Hillary's legacy live on because it'll be known as Hillary's Law, so her death, she didn't die in vain.
After years of first fighting for an inquest into her daughter's death, Borthwick was granted one in St. John in March of 2023 and was finally able to get answers as to how her daughter was able to take her own life while under psychiatric care after being admitted to the hospital for a suicide attempt just days earlier. The inquest resulted in 15 recommendations to help prevent similar tragedies from taking place. But Borthwick's fight didn't end with the inquest. Borthwick says she can only now rest knowing that the passing of Hillary's Law will mean her daughter's memory will live on by helping other families get the answers that they need.
You have the big hospital institutions that are so secretive when all a broken-hearted mother wants or a parent is to know what happened to their loved one. How could it happen? And let's make sure it doesn't happen again. And let's tell me the answers. What happened in those final moments? That's all we've wanted to know since December 2020. What happened to my girl? That's all we wanted.
Borthwick had her daughter's ashes with her in Fredericton for the passing of Hillary's Law and says she can now let Hillary rest too. Borthwick will hold a celebration of life for her daughter this summer and will scatter her ashes on the hilltop overlooking the bay in Hillary's hometown of Beaver Harbor. An appeal hearing regarding plans for a lobster facility proposed for Chamcook went before the province's Assessment and Planning Appeals Board on Tuesday. St. Mary's First Nations wants to build a lobster holding facility in Chamcook on a property they own at the end of St. Andrews North Road. A group of concerned citizens, however, believe that the facility St. Mary's is proposing should be considered a heavy industrial site and should therefore not be greenlit to go forward in the otherwise rural area. The decision from the appeal hearing could take weeks or months. Finally, the annual Charlotte County Pride Walk took place in St. Andrews over the weekend with special guest Normani leading the march in a 30-foot pride gown from the back of a convertible. It was the first time St. Andrews played host to the walk, and the event drew over 100 participants, the largest in Charlotte County Pride's history. Participants walked from the W.C. O'Neill Arena down Harriet Street before going down Water Street into the business district, where they were greeted by an enthusiastic crowd of onlookers. The march ended outside Sheriff Andrews' house, where there was a queer market and a by-donation barbecue run by NBCC St. Andrews, with proceeds going to GSAs in Charlotte County schools.
We're super excited. This is the first time Charlotte County Pride has come to St. Andrews. That we've had parades in the past. We've had 3 in St. Stephen, we've had 1 in St. George. So this year it was St. Andrews' turn, and we're super thrilled with the turnout. We've been around about 6 or 7 years. We started out really from the middle school in St. Stephen. That a number of years ago there was a debate around a crosswalk about putting up a pride crosswalk in St. Stephen. And it was the students of the middle school who started out and started the very first Pride Parade that happened spontaneously that night in St. Stephen to call out the councillors to tell them to be supportive. So we've carried on the tradition. Now we've done extra ones in St. Stephen, St. George, St. Andrews. So next year I'm not sure what we'll do. We've had such a success this year. This is our largest by far, but we'll have to make sure that we top it next year.
That's all the news I have for you. For more stories and online exclusives, follow us on Facebook at CHCO.TV.
A news and public affairs production of CHCO-TV. New Brunswick's only source for independent community television.